For those of you that go hiking or walking in the bush, the rainforest, it's interesting to do a little bit of an experiment and imagine yourself living there, having to survive there without any of the modern comforts that we have. So imagine what you would eat. And you look around, and here in Australia, in the subtropical rainforest that we have, we see trees, we see bark, leaves, vegetation everywhere. And occasionally you see an animal. There's birds, there's reptiles, you see dingoes, you see, you know, animals. And if you had to live there, what would you eat? There's no fruit. I don't see any fruit. Sometimes you see these strange red berries. If you smell them, they don't smell sweet. They don't smell like something we could eat. But if we just went around starting to eat vegetation, if we picked off bits of bark and grass and leaves, roots, stems, all the things that we eat and call vegetables, vegetation, we would get sick very, very quickly. And we would probably die. And that's the thing, is that most of what we eat now is artificial. From what I read and understand, of course, there's no way to prove what I'm saying is true in terms of we just don't know what it was like millions of years ago. But really, the evolutionary theory pretty much makes everything make sense, in my opinion. And to do these thought experiments confirm it even more. There's just so many reasons that the more I understand, the more I experiment, I just see so much more clearly every day that carbohydrates are the reason why humans are largely fat, sick, and stupid these days. If you look around, I think the species is nearly unrecognizable. If you got an ancient human and brought them here, they would look around and it would be shocking. We wouldn't look the same. We would be fat, for a start. Our skin is all fucked up. We're uncoordinated. We're slow, I think. We would look very strange. Our teeth are all crooked. Our jaws are very thin. Our heads are small. And this dates back to, 10, 12,000 years ago, in the advent of farming grains. And you can see that this has done a lot for us in terms of being able to develop society, hobbies, art. But it has simply destroyed our health. I think humans have been in somewhat related to the form we are now for 3 million years. For the majority of that time, we pretty much ate meat and fat, raw meat, raw organs. We would crack open the skulls and eat the brains, mainly raw. Fire came later. We would cook it a little bit if we could. Maybe every year for a couple of months there would be some fruit somewhere on a few trees or whatever. One of the things that confirm this for me is when I go on a ketogenic state, pretty much everything effortlessly is fixed, especially when it's ancestrally consistent. So a very low or zero fiber type ketogenic diet. Mainly just eating meat, fat, and that's it. Suddenly, your weight corrects itself. It's effortless. You're not hungry. Suddenly, eating is simple and obvious. Suddenly, the skin problems go away. The weird little skin tags go away. The teeth, the pain in your teeth go away. The teeth feel stronger. The gut does not bloat. There is no pain in the gut when you eat. It is completely flat. No more problems going to the bathroom in terms of constipation, in terms of bowel pain and issues like that. Hemorrhoids, all caused by fiber. Humans are not evolved to eat fiber in the quantity that we do. It's clear to me the body cannot handle it. Look at yourselves. How sore do you feel after you eat massive amounts of fiber? How many problems do you have because of this fiber constantly flowing through the body, having to be processed and expelled out the other end? Hemorrhoids, pain, flatulence, bloating, who knows what else? Autoimmune issues. We are evolved to digest meat and fat quickly and easily. This is why when we eat only meat and fat, we don't feel it. We get full and that's it. There's no bloating. The stomach's completely flat. We aren't supposed to be bloated and farting all over the place. We aren't supposed to be shitting 5 times a day with fiber. For me, the energy resource that is preferred by the body is fat, ketosis. When you get into ketosis, you notice that you have more energy, that you are smarter, your mind is clearer, you can focus and relax. Eat carbohydrates, suddenly you get this burst of energy and you can't focus as well, can't relax as much. You crash after it like a drug. People say that carbohydrates are the preferred source. The argument is that the body chooses to burn it first. But you can use that same argument to say that this actually means that the body does not like it. The body's trying to get rid of carbohydrates as quickly as possible, so they convert it into fat and they store it, or it just burns it off immediately, puts it into the muscles, the liver, to get rid of it. Because it damages the body. Heart disease, cancer. They have proven that cancer primarily eats carbohydrates. Ketosis is one way to fix cancer and prevent. One of the precursors of pretty much all of our modern diseases is diabetes, caused by excessive carbohydrates. Dementia is called diabetes type 3. We are all falling apart. We are all fat, we're sick, we are dumb. And it's because of carbohydrates. Our sense of sweetness is a survival mechanism that we have evolved that allows us to tell what we can eat and it won't kill us. We can eat fruit and it's not going to immediately cause any problems in the quantities that we have evolved to eat it, which is a couple of months a year and a little bit. But what we have now, these giant balls of sugar that are shiny, these vegetables that don't exist in nature, that have been bred over thousands of years to become what we see today, which is artificial. These trigger a drug-like response where we become addicted to this sweet taste, the dopamine release, because it's beyond nature. It is a drug. Carbohydrates function like a drug in the artificial way that we have them today. We also have them in unlimited quantities, Nature actually provides them in a very limited quantities. So while our senses say that we can get away with eating some carbohydrates, that doesn't mean that they're healthy ultimately in large quantities. Bowls of grains that cannot be eaten raw, they need to be processed and cooked, which would have been impossible for most of our evolution. It's so clear to me that we as a species have failed ourselves. We have gotten everything backwards. And it makes sense. And if you disagree, then try ketosis for a while. With ketosis, there comes issues with electrolytes. I believe it's because the body is adaptive, that most of us are now on a majority plant-based, high carbohydrate diet, and we have done so for decades. The body adapts, so it became reliant on carbohydrates in order to retain electrolytes and salts. So some supplementation may be needed at the start. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. Just something I wanted to talk about, and something that for me has become very clear recently. So I hope you got something out of that. Cheers.